Hello and welcome to another Guest Talks interview. Today we're joined with Olayomi, CEO and founder of Equipment Hall Limited, who are the brand owner of Wowbii Interactive Technology. Wowbii is the leading provider of touchscreen technology in Africa, and their goal is to transform the way that Africa works and learns. Wowbii is also the technology sponsor for GESS Nigeria, which is taking place later this month. Bola, it's a pleasure to speak with you today. Do you mind starting us off by telling us a bit more about Wowbii Interactive?
Yeah, thanks, Millie. It's good to be here with you and the entire GESS team again. We've had a long relationship with GESS, and it's good to be partnering again with you at this time. We are Africa's pioneer and first original equipment manufacturer of interactive flat panels. We started that in 2015. Wowbii Interactive is a subsidiary of the Equipment Hall Group, which is a 25-year-old IT powerhouse across Western Central Africa. So we started that off in 2015 because we thought we wanted to make, in particular, Africa have a seat on the IT table. We felt that we've been to so many events all over the world, and we just had this feeling we're falling further and further behind. And we thought we could do something to bridge that gap, especially for our meeting spaces and our learning spaces. So, our mission was at the time to transform the way Africa works and learns using interactive technology. And then over time, we tweaked that a bit, and we've become more of a space management organization now. So we manage spaces with interactive technology. We're bringing the best of interactive experiences into our space assets. And our space assets include learning spaces, classrooms, training spaces, and in workplaces for human capacity development, meeting spaces in work environments, and undesignated open spaces for collaboration, and then also home spaces. So basically, Wowbii manages any space interactively, and that's basically what we do. Yeah.
Amazing, yeah. What are the initiatives you guys are currently working on?
Currently, we started out pretty small in 2015, probably selling interactive touch panels were completely unknown. And I remember back in the day, then in 2015, we signed the first agreement with Zoom in California in 2015 to sell Zoom way before the pandemic. 5 years way before the pandemic, we signed up with Zoom. So we started pretty small. And so current initiatives at this time will revolve now around scale. We're scaling out big time, growing our numbers, growing our production capacity, extending and expanding more into more and more sectors of the economy across Africa. And we're scaling to provide more access and inclusiveness to technology all across Africa, and bringing more products to Nigerians, in particular, first and foremost, because we're headquartered here. As we see more and more growing demand for interactive engagements, so we're ramping up our production to meet the needs of schools and universities for technology. We're also launching new products for this summer, and providing more product options to meet the value end of the market, especially for primary education.
That leads on nicely, actually, to one of my other questions, which was whether you guys have expanded your operations beyond Nigeria and perhaps beyond Africa, or whether there's plans to do so in the future.
Absolutely. Adoption has been pretty slow, and that's been down to a huge amount of recession that's happened globally first, and then the pandemic, and many African countries haven't recovered yet. Secondly, we still have power challenges, electric power challenges in many parts of Africa. And also the cost of acquisition remains a challenge for most countries and most parts of Africa. But it's inevitable. Adoption of interactive technology is inevitable, especially for learning. So we've seen a lot more requests coming to us from other parts of Africa. It's been slow, but things have ramped up a lot in the last 1 year in particular. So hopefully we would be landing in East Africa in particular later on this year, Kenya, Zambia. We're looking at also getting into Zimbabwe. And of course, on the West Coast here, we're playing very strongly in Ghana at the moment.
Yeah, it's really great to hear. And what is it about Wowbee's products and solutions that make them unique?
Well, Very good question. From inception, we had Africa on our minds, the uniqueness of Africa. And when I say the uniqueness of Africa, we're looking at the beauty of Africa in certain aspects, in the sense that one, that how could we take the African child, how could we take the African worker and bring them at par with the best in the world? So from inception, we carefully crafted and designed our product from ground up for Africa's learning spaces. So with that, we built the ruggedness, the reliability, taking into consideration the unique power requirements, electric power requirements, to cover blackouts, brownouts, surges in electric power, to make sure that, because that Africa experiences a lot of blackouts, and that usually will blow up a lot of equipment. So we put all of that together and build that into what we would call a robust, rugged product from ground up. So our solutions are built, tailored specifically for the environment, and we added an outstanding service and maintenance support with that. And then we onboarded, we onboarded training and handholding, updating and upgrading of the teacher community. So we spend a lot of our energy, training, teaching, as guides for the edtech sector, to ensure that we have human resource abilities in our teachers, taking them from a rote learning perspective and layering on technology on that. The African child is very, very tech savvy, like any other, like their contemporaries all over the world. The challenge was with the teachers not growing up in a tech, in the tech era. So we had to go retro, go back, bring the teachers, and keep working at bringing the teachers up to speed. And that's been the uniqueness of our approach. Train the teachers, train the administrators, create a great product, and we taking on the responsibility as a pioneer OEM to be in edtech, to be the guide to the education sector and be a trusted advisor. All of that have come together to make us, I think, absolutely unique in the market.
Yeah, it sounds like so much more than just, here's your product, here's your solution, do with it what you will. It's, the training sounds like such a key aspect to it. And I guess what maybe pushes you guys above and beyond the rest around you. So yeah, that's really good to hear. Wowbii also sponsored GESS Nigeria, our first Nigeria summit back in 2019. And obviously that was pre-pandemic, and you're now going to be supporting GESS Nigeria at the end of this month. How have your goals and strategies maybe changed since then? Or, have you learned anything over the challenges over the last few years?
Absolutely. COVID was the enabler for us. We're around here, we were like a business or a line of business and product and solution that came before our time. So basically, it took a lot for anyone to appreciate what we were doing pre-COVID. A few of the corporates understood that, but for the schools, it was a no-brainer. It was finding the funding to even purchase projectors, going on to interact to the whiteboards was a big challenge, especially for private education and for private schools across Nigeria in particular. Post-COVID or COVID and the shutdown and the lockdowns was the real game changer. That has greatly accelerated the adoption of technology in education. And also, I'll say our kids in Africa, especially in Nigeria, there's been a greater awareness, greater product adoption, and also our brand perception and brand value within the education segment has really, really grown, especially post-COVID. So without a doubt, we've been able to show the value. COVID has helped us to show the value, hybrid learning, what exactly our solution had been doing since 2015. COVID for us just came to confirm it, that this is how we should have been doing learning. It caught us pants down like it did anywhere else in the world, but our solution, I mean, being hybrid learning ready from day one was good to go for our customers. And they were all the beneficiaries for that. Pre-COVID, the value of the Wowboard, our products in Wowbii was limited and adoption was pretty low. The pandemic has shown the way forward. And I think it's clear now that, that hybrid learning has come to stay. And with that, I mean, what we've been doing for years has been validated, and we're all glad, we're all happy for that.
Yeah. Yeah, the pandemic I think has shown across the world how EdTech is really accelerating. You see it everywhere now. There's such a surge in it, and the importance of it in education, and pushing that into the education system and into the curriculum, because, like you say, I mean, young people across the world now are so tech savvy. It's how they're doing everything now. It's all involving technology. So, educators need to then keep up with that and integrate that into the school system. So what are some of the biggest challenges currently in the education system that you think your products can provide a solution for? I guess we've kind of touched on that a little bit, but I don't know if you've got any specific examples or perhaps even a case study of where you've been able to provide your solution where it's, completely transformed the education system in that area.
It's the practical experience and the testimonials that we receive that really, really excites me. Going through, visiting a customer, visiting a school, walking through the classrooms that have been transformed with our technology, and then we just see the excitement on the faces of the kids. We see the joy in the teachers and the teachers' ability to bring to the students a 21st century learning experience, increasing their creativity, their communication skills, critical thinking, problem solving, using our technology, the collaboration abilities of the kids and what the kids can do. And for us, the wow part of our name, refers to the fact that everything we touch has got to be wow. And so the validation of the fact that we do what's wow, whether it's in our own homegrown applications, whether it's in the suites, whether it's in the testimonials that the kids are saying, from home, I can join in school and I can learn like I'm there physically, so it's just been, great to hear the transformation that this technology, what we do, has been able to bring, especially being pioneers in this area. So our learnings, from here has been, the resilience, the adaptability, and the creativity of the whole of our EdTech ecosystem has been a massive plus for us. So it's just a joy, and also the outstanding value for the investment that the school administrators and school owners and the boroughs and local governments and the state governments and the national governments have done, from tertiary institutions, from the universities, the secondary schools, the high schools, all the way down to the primary schools and the kindergartens. It's just been the joy of seeing that transformation from the rote learning, which we've always done in Nigeria, which is, before we came, it was all stand and deliver, study, cram it in your head, give it back to the teachers. Our technology has helped our school partners move away from just putting on in your head. You can watch the videos on the screens, you can contribute, you can annotate, you can whiteboard. So the whole of the learning experience, the transformation for our kids in Africa, what they do on their smartphones, what they do on their smart tablets, what they do on their computers, bringing it all together in the ecosystem with the teachers who are trained has just been, an absolute joy for us as, as intervention agents in the EdTech space.
Yeah, that sounds great. And have you had any major challenges? I guess, since you guys started, has there been any challenges along the way?
Anyone, I'm sure anyone who's a pioneer will tell you it's never been easy.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that there have been massive challenges, around adoption, access, cost of asset acquisition, electricity. bridging the learning gap, especially for the teachers, teacher training. So it's challenges around importation and costs of customs clearing, lack of subventions or to enable import and acquisition, the cost, huge cost of acquisition, the lack of access to credit for the schools to be able to acquire edtech assets, so where schools are battling with high cost of inflation, the global inflation that's happened, especially added to the war in Ukraine and the impact here as well, the COVID impact, we've all just seen costs going up. And in Africa and Nigeria, where there are no credit lines, it makes it a lot harder to be able to bring this, to the final doorstep, which is a classroom, or to the teachers, or to transform the teachers, with what they have. So it's been a battle, especially from a pioneering perspective. It's been a lot of huge amount of battles, especially with regard also to, the knowledge base, the awareness of what edtech has the power to do. So it's been a tough but absolutely exciting ride. And any pioneer will tell you that's the way it always is.
Yeah, I bet. And I guess aside from the sort of more practical challenges and like the feasibility of it all, how has it been? Say you've gone into a school or a classroom where the educators support a more traditional view of education, and less edtech focused. How do you go about those situations, or what would you say to those who are sort of more stuck in that traditional way, and struggle to get on board with the technology and its massive surge now?
Absolutely fantastic question. The reality is we're still way, way, way behind. And when I say way behind compared to what you would call the first world countries, Europe, China, the US. What we're doing as a business has been trying to bridge that gap. We have that disconnect between educators and school owners who have a tried and tested way of delivering what they do.
Yeah.
And what they do still works.
Yeah.
And since what they do still works, most of the exams are still handwritten, so the question in most spaces, if it's not broken, why are you trying to fix it? But the beautiful thing for us has been the testimonials we've had from, in particular, most of our projects. Most of our projects have been pioneering projects that have never been done before. And that comes with its challenge. But every time we've won a new customer, we've thrown a party. And every time we've won a new school, we've thrown a party. And it's been that transformation that you can go back 3 years later. We're probably in our third generation of our products at the moment over the last 7 years. It's the fact that we have a fantastic, customer base that we're so fortunate to have. And it's that referral, that testimonial from those customers to say this works, the validation of 25 years of our work, to say this works, this is working in our environment. And fortunately for us, this customer base end up being major influencers in the market. So when you hear it's worked here, it's worked there, it's worked for me, I've gone back again, I'm a repeat customer, it validates the work we're doing. And that referral, that ability to refer to where it's worked before has been a major, major plus for us. Without that, it'd have been too tough. But to get those on board, in many cases, we've had to make a lot of concessions, freebies here, a free unit here, a free experience there, a demo experience there. And it's cost a lot, but in the end, I think that's what pioneers always have to do. You always have to kind of give up something to be able to win, defer your wins or defer your profits, I guess. Yeah. But that's been kind of the experience here.
Yeah, brilliant. And you guys, well, obviously we mentioned GESS Nigeria in 2019 and then coming up soon. And you guys have also supported GESS Kenya in 2018. What benefits do you see from supporting the GESS Summit events in Africa?
Wowbii has always partnered with the best. And we've also been very careful because from a reputational perspective, as a global original equipment manufacturer out of Africa, we also have a responsibility to the industry, to the education sector in particular, to ensure that the best of the breeds end up coming into our countries. And for us, that's been the benefit of partnering with a brand that's tried and tested and proven like GESS. The credibility of the platform has been, for us, is very, very critical. And as the leader in the industry on the continent, it's also critical for us to be able to sit on platforms that have the same level of global acceptance and global credibility. And so it's been almost a no-brainer for us to want to work with, a brand like GESS that's been there, done that in other locations. The brand's accepted. It's a reputable platform, and for us, it's been a win-win. And that I think that basically just sums it up.
Well, that's fantastic to hear. Well, thank you so much for chatting with me today. And if anyone wants to find out more about Wowbee's products and solutions that you've mentioned today, where can they go to do so?
You can look up our website. That's www.wowbii.com. You can reach out to us at contact@wowbii.com. And I'm sure, you would get an absolutely fantastic experience, just relating with us. Without a doubt, we are pushing the frontiers, pushing the envelope, making sure that Africa gets a world-class experience through our interventions. And I'm sure anyone who reaches out to us, especially through this platform, would be glad they do.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much. And we'll include your website details along with this video as well, so visitors can check out Wowbee's products and solutions. So thank you so much, Bona, and we're looking forward to seeing you and the rest of the Wowbii team on the 24th and 25th this month at GESS Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Millie. Good talking with you.
With that, take care and goodbye for now. We'll speak to you soon. And recording.